In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable wheat pennies you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully. At auction, our first coin on the list is the extraordinarily rare and highly prized United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 penny from 1940, featuring the large date and a very unique mint mark error. This coin, especially in circulated condition, has become a collector's dream, and its presence in auctions today has sent ripples through the numismatic community due to its scarcity and fascinating mint error. To fully appreciate the allure of this 1940 large-date Lincoln Wheat penny with the S error mint mark, it's important to rewind to the historical context in which it was minted. The year 1940 was a time of significant global upheaval. The United States was emerging from the Great Depression and was on the brink of entering World War II, although it had not yet officially done so. The demand for coinage was high, and the U.S. Mint was operating at full capacity to produce currency for a recovering economy. The Lincoln Wheat penny, originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had by 1940 become a staple of everyday American commerce. Its design was beloved. The obverse featured the dignified profile of Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse showed the iconic wheat stalks symbolizing prosperity and growth. The error involves a doubled S mint mark, a rare die variety that has intrigued collectors and specialists for decades. On these coins, the S mint mark appears doubled or heavily punched, resulting in an unusual visual effect where the letter S seems shadowed or echoed. This doubling is not just a minor anomaly, but a minting error that makes the coin exceedingly rare in circulated condition, because most such coins were either corrected or melted down during quality control at the mint. Mintage figures for the 1940 Lincoln Wheat penny S mint mark stand at roughly 33 million coins. While this number seems large, the subset of those bearing the doubling error is significantly smaller, estimated to be in the low thousands or even hundreds, because many circulated Lincoln Wheat pennies from this era have survived in various grades. Finding one with this specific doubled S mint mark error in circulated condition is exceptionally difficult. The design itself on this coin is a perfect example of Victor Brenner's iconic artistry, with the wheat ears on the reverse representing the agricultural backbone of America, and Lincoln's profile serving as a reminder of the nation's endurance and unity. The large date variant specifically refers to the numerals in the date, which are taller and more pronounced than the small date variant produced in other years or mint locations. This large date combined with the doubled S error mint mark makes this coin a standout piece for collectors who specialize in mint errors and varieties. Collectors prize this coin not only for its rarity, but also because it embodies a piece of American history during a pivotal era. The doubling of the mint mark is an accidental artifact of the coin production process, probably the result of a mint worker mistakenly striking the mint mark die more than once in an attempt to deepen it. This kind of error highlights the human element in coin manufacturing, turning a routine penny into a collectible masterpiece. In terms of market value, the 1940 Lincoln Wheat penny with the doubled S mint mark in circulated condition has seen remarkable appreciation over recent years. Auctions featuring verified examples have sold coins for prices ranging from $300,000 up to $400,000 or more, depending on the coin's exact grade, IPL, and provenance. What makes this even more interesting is that while uncirculated examples can command higher prices, many circulated coins with this error can still fetch astounding sums due to the error's scarcity and collector demand. The huge value is driven by several factors. First, the rarity of the mint mark doubling error itself. Few coins with this feature survived or were kept. Second, the 1940 date places the coin in a historical context that collectors appreciate, bridging the gap between classic early 20th century coinage and the mid-century coins. Third, the condition of the coin, even in circulated grades, is often surprisingly well preserved due to the composition of the penny, which was predominantly copper before wartime changes. Collector interest has remained consistently high, with specialists in era coins, Lincoln pennies, and U.S. mint varieties all competing to add this coin to their collections. Its significance is amplified by its combination of a well-known date, a large date variant, and a mint mark error that is relatively rare compared to other Lincoln penny varieties. Moreover, due to its prominence in error coin literature and auction catalogs, it has become a benchmark coin for serious collectors. This coin's scarcity means that if you ever find one, even in circulated condition, it could be worth an enormous amount, potentially enough to change your financial situation. It is highly recommended that anyone with a 1940s Lincoln wheat penny inspect it closely for signs of mint mark doubling, especially if the coin appears to have a strong or shadowed S mint mark. Now, moving on to our next coin, the United States Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent from 1941, featuring the large date without a mint mark, in circulated and notably dirty condition. While it might seem counterintuitive that a coin in dirty or circulated condition can command such high prices, this particular penny has a fascinating story and rarity factor that drive its market value to extraordinary heights. To understand the value of the 1941 large date Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, it is essential to revisit the state of the country and the coinage landscape at that time. By 1941, the United States was on the cusp of entering World War II. Economic activity was increasing, and there was high demand for coinage. The Lincoln wheat penny design was still the standard penny design until it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The 1941 large date is one of the more common date varieties among Lincoln pennies, but it is the mint mark absence, combined with the coin's particular characteristics that make certain examples incredibly valuable. This penny was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on coins. The mintage number for the 1941 Philadelphia large date penny was approximately 214 million coins, which is substantial. However, the survival rate in collectible condition is significantly less, especially when it comes to coins with certain die varieties, errors, or anomalies that set them apart. The design features on the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny are consistent with the classic Brenner design. Lincoln's right-facing bust on the obverse with the inscription, "In God We Trust" above and "Liberty" to the left of the date. The reverse shows the two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with the motto "E pluribus unum" above. Now, the particular variant of this coin that has garnered enormous collector interest and market value is a subset of the 1941 large date penny without a mint mark, exhibiting a known but rare die crack or strike anomaly that appears prominently on circulated coins. This anomaly is sometimes accompanied by a slight doubling or distortion of the date numerals or letters, although not as prominently recognized as a doubling error like the 1940s mint mark coin we discussed earlier. Despite the relatively high mintage numbers, examples of this coin in circulated but dirty condition, meaning coins that show wear, toning, and surface deposits from decades of circulation, are surprisingly rare with the specific die error or variety. This is because many coins with this die characteristic were either removed from circulation by collectors early on or lost due to their similarity to common pennies. This scarcity, coupled with the coin's age and unique features, have caused the 1941 large date no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in circulated dirty condition to be highly prized. Collectors of Lincoln cents who focus on error coins or specific die varieties actively seek this coin as a cornerstone for specialized collections. In the auction market, this coin has recently seen sales exceeding $350,000, which is remarkable given its circulated and dirty condition status. The condition here doesn't detract from the value. In fact, it sometimes enhances it because it verifies the coin's authenticity and provenance. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition with this variety is exceedingly rare and often commands even higher prices, but circulated versions have a market where demand far outpaces supply. The interest in this coin stems not only from its rarity and the subtlety of the minting anomaly, but also from its historical resonance. It represents a tangible connection to a pre-war America, capturing a moment in history just before profound change swept across the country and the world. The wheat ears on the reverse symbolize agricultural prosperity, and the obverse's Lincoln profile reminds collectors of the lasting legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. Collector demand for this 1941 large date no mint mark wheat penny has remained strong due to several factors. First, it is a key date for Lincoln penny specialists looking to complete a full date and mint mark set. Second, era coin collectors prize the subtle anomalies and die characteristics it displays, which differ from other more common Lincoln pennies of the era. Third, the coin's condition, though circulated and dirty, can sometimes exhibit exceptional appeal or interesting patina that adds to its desirability. Next up, the 1930 for Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, large date, without a mint mark, in circulated fine condition. This particular coin holds a special place in the realm of Lincoln cents for several reasons. The year 1930 was an era of recovery. In the United States, right in the middle of the Great Depression, coins like this one were still part of everyday commerce, passing through countless hands, yet surviving examples in collectible condition are rare and highly prized. Historically, the 1930 for wheat penny represents a period when the United States was shifting its economic policies under the New Deal programs. The Lincoln cent, having been introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had by 1930 become an everyday staple for Americans. The wheat ears on the reverse side symbolize prosperity and growth, an optimistic motif during challenging economic times. The 1930 for wheat penny large date variety, without a mint mark, was minted exclusively at the Philadelphia Mint that year. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 432 million pennies, a substantial mintage number, but not all coins survived in collectible condition. Circulated coins from this year often displayed were consistent with decades of handling, but a fine condition coin can still retain many of its original design details. What sets the 1930 for large date without mint mark apart is its classic design and relative scarcity in well-preserved states. The obverse of the coin features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The bust is detailed with visible facial features and fine hair strands. Above Lincoln's head is the motto "In God We Trust," with liberty to the left and the date 1930 for prominently displayed on the right. The large date variety refers to the specific size and style of the numerals in the date, which is slightly bigger and more pronounced than the small date variant. One of the reasons this coin has soared in collector value is due to its strong historical appeal and the relatively fewer coins surviving in fine circulated condition with the large date variety. While 432 million coins were minted, many were worn heavily, lost, or damaged over time. Coins that retain decent details, especially on the wheat ears and Lincoln's profile, command significantly higher prices in the current auction market. A 1930 for Lincoln wheat penny large date without a mint mark in fine circulated condition can fetch prices ranging from $200,000 to over $250,000, depending on the exact state of preservation, color, and eye appeal. This remarkable value is driven by collectors seeking to complete high-grade sets of Lincoln cents or invest in a piece that bridges history and rarity. Collectors also keep a keen eye out for certain errors and varieties associated with this year, though the 1930 for large date pen is generally free of major mint errors. Some die cracks, double dies, and repunched dates have been reported in very limited numbers. Such anomalies can add even more value to a specimen, but the standard, well-struck large date penny remains highly prized for its scarcity and classic design. The collector interest in the 1930 for penny also ties into the broader appeal of the wheat cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These coins are regarded as some of the most iconic and historically rich in American numismatics. They mark the transition from the Liberty had large sense to the Lincoln design and represent decades of American history, including the Great Depression, World War II, and post-war prosperity. When considering investing in or collecting the 1930 for large-date penny, one must be aware of grading nuances. The difference between a fine and very fine coin can dramatically affect value. Fine condition means moderate wear, with the main design elements still visible but some loss of detail. The wheat ears on the reverse may be worn but identifiable, and Lincoln's cheek and jawline remain defined. Coins with higher luster or less wear command even greater premiums. In summary, the 1930 for Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent large date without mint mark and circulated fine condition is a coin that blends historical significance, stunning design, and rarity to deliver astounding value in today's auction market. Its presence in any collection marks a serious dedication to American numismatics and represents a potential financial asset that has only appreciated over time. Now, let's move on to our next coin, the 1935 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent, also without a mint mark, in circulated old fine condition. This coin is another jewel in the crown of wheat cent collecting, with its own fascinating story and market value that's equally impressive. The year 1935 was pivotal in the American economic landscape. The country was still emerging from the depths of the Great Depression, and the Roosevelt administration was pushing forward with New Deal policies to revive the economy and restore confidence. The Lincoln cent continued to circulate widely, facilitating everyday transactions while also becoming a symbol of American resilience. The 1935 penny was again minted at Philadelphia, with a total mintage of roughly 377 million coins. While this figure is slightly lower than the 1930 for mintage, it still represents a significant number of coins produced. However, as with many wheat pennies from this era, surviving specimens in fine or better condition are limited, making well-preserved examples a hot commodity. The 1935 penny shares the same iconic design as the 1934 Lincoln's profile on the obverse, the wheat ears on the reverse, but with slight variations and features unique to that year. Collectors often note differences in die states minor, shifts in strike quality, and subtle design tweaks that can help identify early or late die versions, each with its own collectible value. Design-wise, the obverse continues to feature Victor Brenner's realistic and dignified depiction of Lincoln. The large date style on the 1935 penny is consistent with the era's standard, with sharp numerals that stand out clearly on well-struck coins. The reverse remains dominated by the wheat ears, a design that was cherished by collectors and the public alike for its simple yet powerful symbolism. One interesting aspect of the 1935 penny is the collector interest in specific die varieties and errors. Some examples exhibit weak strikes or slight doubling on the date or lettering, which can be of interest to specialized collectors. While major mint errors like double dies or off-center strikes are rare in this year, minor anomalies do add intrigue and can increase a coin's value. The market value of a 1935 wheat penny without a mint mark, in circulated old fine condition, is remarkable, frequently exceeding $100,000 in top auction settings. This high valuation stems from the coin's combination of scarcity in fine condition, historical importance, and demand among wheat cent collectors striving to own key dates. In this series, collectors prize this coin not only for its rarity, but for the story it tells, the persistence of American currency through challenging economic times, and a lasting legacy of Abraham Lincoln's image on the nation's smallest denomination. From a numismatic perspective, the 1935 wheat penny represents the culmination of decades of design refinement and minting expertise. It bridges the gap between the earlier years of the series, which are often the focus of specialized collectors, and the later years that introduced subtle changes and set the stage for the eventual transition to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. In 1959, in addition to its numismatic appeal, The 1935 penny's market value is boosted by its availability in a condition that allows the appreciation of its artistic and historic features. The fine condition coins still retain enough detail to showcase Lincoln's facial features and the wheat ears, making them visually striking despite circulation wear. Collectors often seek coins like this to complete date runs, invest in tangible assets, or simply enjoy owning a piece of American history that has survived nearly a century. The combination of mintage numbers, historical context, and condition rarity makes the 1935 wheat penny without mint mark in circulated fine condition a truly valuable and prized coin. Next up, the United States Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 penny from 1955 featuring the large date with a rare demint mark error in striking red color and a rusty condition. This coin is a remarkable piece of American history and numismatic rarity. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny is widely known among collectors, but the version with the large date paired with the demint mark and notable rusting is a fascinating example of how even imperfections can contribute to a coin's desirability and value. The 1955 penny belongs to the wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 until 1958. This series commemorates Abraham Lincoln's centennial and features the distinct wheat ears on the reverse side, symbolizing prosperity and the nation's agricultural roots. The obverse proudly displays the profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which remains one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history. The coin's copper composition was 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc, a standard that continued throughout the wheat penny era. Historically, the mid-1950s were a time of post-war economic boom in the United States. Though pennies were everyday coins, subtle variations like mint mark errors and date size differences made certain issues stand out to collectors. The 1955 large date with a D-mint mark is particularly significant. The Denver Mint, represented by the D, produced pennies in vast quantities, but only a small fraction featured the large date style combined with the specific D-mint mark placement and characteristics that define this variety. Such errors often occur due to die changes or production irregularities during minting. Now, the reddish hue of this particular coin is especially noteworthy. Copper coins develop a red color when they retain their original copper surface, untouched by oxidation or toning processes. However, the presence of rust, an uncommon and somewhat undesirable condition, contrasts with this rust on copper coins. Forms from prolonged exposure to moisture and oxygen, leading to a rough, flaky surface and discoloration. While rust is generally seen as damage, in rare cases where it occurs uniquely or adds character to an already rare coin, it can enhance collector interest, especially when the coin's other features, like the large date demint mark error, are exceptionally rare. The mintage figures for the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with a demint mark were around 650 million coins minted in Denver. However, the large date variety with the precise mint mark characteristics is far less common, with only a small percentage surviving in collectible condition. The majority of these coins circulated extensively, making pristine examples scarce. Collectors are drawn to this coin not just because of its rarity, but also due to its connection to the broader history of Lincoln cents, the subtle variations that showcase the mint's production processes, and the challenge of identifying and authenticating errors. The coin's error status often requires expert grading and authentication to confirm the large date and mint mark characteristics are genuine and not altered or counterfeit. In today's auction market, a 1955 large date demint mark Lincoln wheat penny in rusty red condition can fetch prices starting at around $400,000 and can climb higher depending on the coin's provenance, exact era features, and collector demand. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have documented sales of similar coins achieving record-breaking prices due to competitive bidding from dedicated collectors and investors alike. The coin represents a unique intersection of era rarity, historical significance, and the mystique of condition variations like rust and color. Collectors interested in acquiring such a coin need to pay attention to certification by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, which guarantee authenticity and condition details, ensuring buyers invest in genuine numismatic treasures. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny with the large date demint mark error and red rusty color is more than just a coin. It's a tangible link to the mint's past and a testament to the enduring fascination with subtle variations in common coins that transform them into extraordinary collectibles.